Mantras of our Divine Mother. Our Divine Mother says, drop all fear, all strife, all quarrels. Open your eyes and your heart. The supramental force is there. With my love and blessing, says our Divine Mother. Words of our Divine Mother taken from the collective works of our Divine Mother, question and answers of 1929 to 31, date 26th May 1929, page 160, topic stepping back. Our Divine Mother says, most of you live on the surface of your being, exposed to the touch of external influences. You live almost projected, as it were, outside your own body, and when you meet some unpleasant being, similarly projected, you get upset. The whole trouble, says our Divine Mother, the whole trouble arises out of your not being accustomed to stepping back. The whole trouble arises out of your not being accustomed to stepping back. You must always step back into yourself. Learn to go deep within, step back, and you will be safe. Do not lend yourself to the superficial forces which move in the outside world. Even if you are in a hurry to do something, step back for a while, and you will discover to your surprise how much sooner and with what greater success your work can be done. Our Divine Mother says, if someone is angry with you, do not be caught in his vibrations, but simply step back, and his anger, finding no support or response, will vanish. Always keep your peace. Resist all temptation to lose it. Never decide anything without stepping back. Never speak a word without stepping back. Never throw yourself into action without stepping back. Our Divine Mother says, all that belongs to the ordinary world is impermanent and fugitive. All that belongs to the ordinary world is impermanent and fugitive. So there is nothing in it worth getting upset about. What is lasting, eternal, immortal, and infinite, that indeed is worth having, worth conquering, worth possessing. It is divine light, divine love, divine life. It is also supreme peace, perfect joy, and all mastery upon earth, with the complete manifestation as the crowning. When you get the sense of the relativity of things, when you get the sense of relativity of things, then whatever happens, you can step back and look. You can remain quiet and call on the divine force and wait for an answer. You can remain quiet and call on the divine force and wait for an answer. Then you will know exactly what to do. Remember, therefore, that you cannot receive the answer before you are very peaceful. Practice that inner peace. Make at least a small beginning and go on in your practice until it becomes a habit for you, says our Divine Mother.
May thy will be integrally done, O Lord. It is my happiness and my law.
Question, sweet mother, if a man speaks or acts with an evil mind, suffering follows him as the wheel follows the hoof of the bullock that pulls the cart. For this, our Divine Mother says, that is to say, ordinary human life, such as it is in the present world, is ruled by the mind. Therefore, the most important thing is to control one's mind, so we shall follow a graded or conjugate discipline, to use the Dhammapada's expression, in order to develop and control our minds. There are 4 moments which are usually consecutive, but which in the end may be simultaneous. To absorb one's thoughts is the first. To watch over one's thought is the second. To control one's thought is the third. And to master one's thought is the fourth. Let me explain these 4 moments again. Our Divine Mother says to observe one's thought is the first moment. To watch over one's thought is the second. To control one's thoughts is the third. To master one's thought is the fourth. To observe, to watch over, to control, to master. All that to get rid of an evil mind. For we are told that the man who acts or speaks with an evil mind is followed by a suffering as closely as the wheel follows the hoof of a bullock that plows or draws the cart, says our Divine Mother. sweet mother. He has insulted me, he has beaten me, he has humiliated me, he has robbed me. Those who do not nourish these thoughts, such as these, foster no hatred. For this, our Divine Mother says, this concerns only thoughts that generate resentment. It is because rancor, along with jealousy, is one of the most widespread causes of human misery. But how to avoid having rancor? A large and generous heart is certainly the best means, but that is not within the reach of all. Controlling one's thought may be of more general use. Thought control is the third step of your mental discipline. Once the enlightened judge of our consciousness, once the enlightened judge of our consciousness has distinguished between the useful and harmful thoughts, the inner guard will come and allow to pass only approved thoughts, strictly refusing admission to all undesired elements. Our Divine Mother says, with a commanding gesture, the guard will refuse entry to every bad thought and pushes it back as far as possible. It is this moment of admission and refusal that we call thought control, and this will be subject of our meditation. Next, in page 194, question. Sweet Mother, just as the rain penetrates through the thatch of a leaking roof, so the passions penetrate an unbalanced mind. For this, our Divine Mother says, these are innumerable small Buddhist sects of all kinds. In Japan, in China, in Burma, and each one follows its own methods, but the most widespread among them are those whose sole practice is to make the mind quiet. They sit down for a few hours in the day and even at night and quiet their mind. This is for them the key to all realization. A quiet mind that knows how to keep quiet for hours together without roving around. You must not believe, however, that it is a very easy thing to do, but they have no other object. They do not concentrate upon any thought. They do not try to understand better, to more, know more, nothing of the kind. For them, the only way is to have a quiet mind, and sometimes they pass through years and years of effort before they arrive at this result to silence the mind, to keep it absolutely silent and still. If the mind is unbalanced, then this constant movement of ideas flowing one another, then this constant movement of ideas following one another, sometimes without any order, ideas contradicting and opposing each other, ideas that speculate on things, all these jottles about in the head makes holes in the roof as it were. So, through these holes, all the undesirable movements enter into the consciousness as water enters into a house with a leaky roof. However that may be, says our Divine Mother, I believe it is a practice to be recommended to everyone to keep a certain time every day trying to make the mind quiet even still. And it is an undeniable fact that the more mentally developed one is, the quicker one succeeds. The more the mind is in a rudimentary state, the more difficult it is. Those who are at the bottom of the scale, who have never trained their minds, find it necessary to speak in order to think. It happens even that it is the sound of their voice which enables them to associate ideas. If they do not express them, they do not think. At a higher level, there are those who still have to move words about in their heads in order to think, even though they do not utter them aloud. Those who truly begin to think are those who are able to think without words, that is to say, to be in contact with the idea, express it through a variety of words and phrases. There are higher degrees. Those who think without words truly begin to reach an intellectual state. For them, it is easier. That is to stop the moment of associating the words that constantly move about like passers by in a public square to contemplate an idea in silence. I empathize this fact because there are quite few people who, when mental silence has been transmitted to them by occult means, are immediately alarmed, afraid of losing their intelligence. Because they can no longer think, they fear they may become stupid. But to cease thinking is much higher achievement than to be able to spin out thoughts endlessly, and it demands a much greater development. So, from every point of view, not only from the spiritual point, it is always very good to practice silence for a few minutes, at least twice a day, but it must be a true silence, not merely abstention from talking, says our Divine Mother.